Hey guys, this is Anders Minov with the Fast Lane Truck, and with me,
Kent with mr.truck.com.
and this is episode 6 of Ask Mr. Truck.
I think so.
And thank you guys for sending in questions. We have a lot of them again, and I'm gonna just read them off to you,
Okay.
and hopefully we can get to the bottom of this.
Yes, let's see if we can find some answers.
Okay, so the first question comes from Keenan from Nebraska.
Yes.
And Keenan asks, he said, I was foolish not to get a trailer brake controller in my new truck from the factory.
Mm-hmm.
What are the best aftermarket trailer brake controllers for his truck?
That's a good question because they should be wired in with a plug, with a Delphi plug for an aftermarket. And there's one of the brands out there I would actually as soon get an aftermarket brake controller instead of using a factory one. It's interesting because Ford uses Takancha, which they have since 2005, which makes the Prodigy and all those.
Okay.
And Ram uses Continental. GM uses Bosch. So they have their own manufacturing companies, and the ones that I like the best are Direct Link, which is an independent company, and then I like the Prodigy P3. I don't like the P1 or the P2, but so those are the two that I would pick, with the Prodigy P3 and Direct Link. Now Direct Link is quite different. It runs off your onboard diagnostics port.
Okay.
So it talks to your computer on your truck. So when your truck brakes, it tells the trailer to brake at the same time. So
Okay.
it's as fast as you can get. Now, if you want to get the better ones, you're going to be, anyway from $200 to $350. But the Direct Link actually is proportional, which so is the P3. Proportional means that they'll brake according to how much you apply the pressure to it. Regardless of the gain, it's an increasing power thing. Now, the Direct Link will work on hydraulic or electric brakes, which basically all the factory ones do now. GM just did it with 2015. So they all do that, and the better ones will automatically sense the type of brakes you have. And with the Direct Link, the big box, the module goes underneath the dash, plugs into everything, onboard diagnostics port. And in this part, you put it up on your dash, wherever you
Like
want to
a
put
remote,
it.
basically?
Right, so you can see it along with your windshield, and your peripheral vision is intact, and your controls are right on there, your gain is on there. Everything you want to do is right there, so you don't have to take your eyes off the road, which is such an important thing. So that's my opinion. Those are the two that I like the best.
The next question comes from Mark. He says, my previous truck was a 2006 Dodge Ram 3500 two-wheel drive. It was equipped with a rack and pinion steering, which was my favorite thing about the truck. It really tracked straight and true on the highway. In your opinion, in the latest trucks, 2017 and 2018, which one, steering-wise, handled the best?
Well, I'm glad we're talking about the rack and pinion because I loved it. I mean,
In which truck?
In the two-wheel drive Ram,
Okay.
heavy duty,
Okay.
2535. And that's a big deal. They didn't have it in four-wheel drive, but in two-wheel drive, it's tighter steering, just like on your half tons, like on your cars. I think Jaguar invented it. And everything is so much quicker and tighter, and I loved it. And Kenworth, the semis, tried it for a couple of years. I think Freightliner did it for 3 years, and then they dropped it. I don't know exactly why, but if they can do it on a Class 8 truck, why can't we do it on these Class 2 and 3s? So I'm a big fan of rack and pinion on trucks. But now, if you look at them in four-wheel drives, they're all a recirculating ball, which is
Okay.
a drag link and a gearbox, and then the tie links and all that. So it's like what we had in trucks forever. And they've gotten tighter. Ford used to be pretty loose, and they've tightened them up. And then, the Ram, if I would take them just the way they are coming out of the factory, the Ram, even in the recirculating ball and it's four-wheel drive, I think that they steer the easiest. I think I have a least amount of fatigue going down the road.
Okay.
And we pull trailers cross country all over the place. And that one I feel the best at the end of the day, and not being all crunched up in my hands. Except for their top ends, they have a baseball bat for a steering wheel, and then your hands are kind of cramped.
And it's wood,
Yeah,
half
it's
of
that
it's
giant
wood.
piece of wood for a steering wheel. But other than that, I really like it. Now, the Ford has the
adaptive steering.
Adaptive steering.
The new one.
The new one, the 17, and you've driven that, I've driven it. And it's got that gearbox in the steering wheel and the gears and all that. And it really improved steering too, and I like it for backing up. And it may make it a little tighter. Of course, it's up in the steering wheel, not down where the recirculating ball actually is. So all they're doing, all those things are making them steer better because you're getting bigger trailers behind these trucks. You want to be able to steer them.
Yeah.
So that's an important issue is that steering. And I wish they all had rack and pinion. That would be my opinion. But I would say without spending extra money on a digital one from GM, that the cheapest way to go is the Ram. And I think they steer the best.
I really like that 2017 Super Duty steering though.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it did really well on the highway because it changes the ratio. So when you're going at a faster speed, it kind of slows down the ratio a little
Really?
bit, so you can track more straight. And then in the parking lots, it adds ratio, so
Yeah.
you don't have to steer quite as much.
It backs up a trailer
So-
well. I was impressed with that. I
So,
thought that'd be
so
cool.
that's the most latest system that I liked. Next question is about the Super Duty, actually. It comes from Ryan. He says, after I tow, I take the hitch out of the hitch receiver, and after a while, rust appears on the receiver. Do you know how to prevent this from happening? I just bought a 2017 Super Duty. I paid almost $80,000 for it, and I don't want to see any rust on my hitch.
Oh, he didn't get the gold hitch receiver?
Well, Gold Hitch
For
Awards
80,000,
from
yeah.
TFL Truck.
For 80,000, you would have got silver or gold. You know, to me, it sounds like those hitches. You know, they don't spend a lot of money on the hitches other than making them stronger and all that. But most of them are mild steel, powder coated. So if you got a Stinger hitch, the adjustable ball into that 2-inch square, or 2.5 or 3-inch now, that's going to rub on that, rub the powder coating off. So that's going to show rust. So that's what I think it's doing it, because I don't think they galvanize a receiver hitch.
Right.
You know, we need to look that up, but I think we're looking at mild steel powder coated. So once the powder coat's rubbed off, there you have it. So you can repaint it. You can repaint it like a Rust-Oleum or some of those other things that might are with zinc coating and galvanizing, and try that. But that's what I think the problem is. And I know it is. When you spend $80,000, you don't really want rust.
No, you don't want to see rust or show rust. I have a solution. You know,
Yeah.
some people just put like stoppers, you know, little decorative plugs on their hitch
To
receivers.
hide the rust that's still there.
Yes, hide it.
Or use an aluminum receiver hitch too.
Yeah,
You won't have
aluminum.
the oxidation between the steel and steel. You just have the
That's a little bit better.
aluminum. And
Of course,
steel.
you don't want to leave your hitch there all the time because it's in the way, right?
Right.
It's
Right,
hanging,
and people hit their shin bones on and all that.
Right. Well, you brought your Super Duty here.
Yes, Michael, here's my
But
truck.
can we just really quick do a little plug for a book?
Yes.
Truck
yes.
Nuts, the TFL Trucks Guide to Pickup Trucks, and of course, you had a huge part in creating this book.
Well, that's what we try to do, is give you all the advice and all the things you can use when you're looking for a truck, when you're trying to decide how much your truck will tow, all those different questions that you really can't find online. I mean, we always try to find information online for all the stats and all the testing we do, and sometimes you can't do it. So what we're trying to do is give you the information that you can't find, and our personal experiences and all the testing that you've done, pulling trailers up the Ike Gauntlet, the brake test, the miles per gallon test. And I try to cover, things like, do you want to buy a used truck or a new truck? Should you buy a diesel or gas engine? All those kind of questions. And, how to line up your trailer? What will your truck actually tow? Safe towing?
Yeah.
And teenage driving. We try to cover everything that I think is really important.
So we got pictures here, We've got a lot of stuff. Look at this.
Yes, pictures and
fun
graphics.
chapter graphics. So like you said, if you have a truck already or you're trying to think about buying a truck, this is a book that can answer a lot of those questions.
That's true.
And it's available. You can go to trucknutsbook.com, and there are links for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Independent Bookstore, and even Mango, our publisher,
Right,
has a
right.
selling website.
And it's Christmas. Christmas is coming.
It's a stocking
You
stuffer.
can't get a better Christmas gift than truck
Yes.
nuts.
Yes. So there you go. A quick plug on the book. So just two more questions here, okay?
Okay.
This one comes from Andy. He says, sorry if you have this information somewhere else, but I have a question about tire pressures while towing. My owner's manual is not talking about this. What is your guidance on tire pressures?
Well, he's talking about tire pressure on a truck or on the trailer. I guess we'll call it the same.
He didn't say,
You should
but
be at the
while
maximum.
towing. He said while
Yeah,
towing.
yeah, I would go with maximum. You got a safety compliance sticker in the door of the truck and somewhere in the tongue of the trailer that tells you your ideal maximum towing pressures.
Okay, final question comes from David from Texas. He says, I'm going to keep it simple, but the question is actually kind of long. But anyway, his main dilemma is he's looking to buy a truck in the near future. And he says he narrowed the choices down to two vehicles, a Tacoma TRD Pro or a 4Runner TRD Pro. And then he goes on to say, and secondly, should I go for the TRD Pro versions, or maybe like an off-road version of the Tacoma or the trail version of the 4Runner would do the job? And he says this vehicle will be mostly used as a daily driver for occasional off-roading as well.
Well, and you guys do a lot more off-roading than I do, but the 4Runner I just had a month ago, we went some unbelievable places. That thing was like a tank. And I think there's more room in there. I imagine it costs more than a Tacoma. I think it's a bigger size vehicle, so I sit in it better. The seat's up higher for me. And we went rocks climbing. We did a lot of stuff with that. And I've seen several on the trail. People use them, and I'm very capable. And of course, the Tacoma is. We know how the Tacoma is. It's a great thing. It all depends on whether you need a little bed on the back or you want it all in there, for you can get more of the family in there.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the 4Runner, the TRD Pro. I love that truck, and we pulled an ATV, loaded through some stuff that I had fun just going through an ATV, and it did well with a trailer full of them. And so that's my opinion.
So I have an opinion as well.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay, so first of all, Tacoma TRD Pro versus 4Runner TRD Pro at that level. I've driven both, actually the new one, the 2017 TRD Pro that we recently had in our studio.
Camel color, or whatever that's called.
It was cement.
Cement? Oh,
Cement, it was like
yeah.
that interesting
The one
color.
I had was called quicksand.
It's interesting, cement or quicksand.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you look at Tacoma versus 4Runner TRD Pro, I would go for the 4Runner. And my reasoning is similar to yours. It's more comfortable on the inside as a daily driver. The seats are a little bit more comfortable overall. And the TRD Pro version with the shocks that it comes with, it's actually set up to ride really comfortably on the road. So if you spend a lot of time on the road, TRD Pro, it just glides. It's really comfortable. Do you need all that? Do you need to pay the extra money
I'm sure.
for TRD Pro versions? Well, you know what? I don't think so. Yes, you can get that extra comfort on the highway or on the regular road with the different shock tuning, but a trail version of the 4Runner will do 95% off-road what the TRD Pro could do. So go back to tfltruck.com for more news, views, and real-world reviews. And where else can they go?
MrTruck.com.
Yes. You have accessories there.
Yeah, we have all
and
kinds of
all
things.
kinds of
Yeah.
information, right?
Yeah, thousands of pages.